Riverside and Great Northern Preservation Society presents the Riverside and Great Northern Railway. Enjoy a relaxing 3-mile round trip over the old right-of-way built in 1852 through beautiful Wisconsin countryside. Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin. Here you see a map that shows where the Riverside and Great Northern parking lot is and where the track follows the Sioux Line track, up in the upper left of the screen. The year is 1990 and we'll show you a typical operating day. This video is produced by W.C. Coster. Engineer Jim Kenna loading sand in the sand dome so that the locomotive will be ready should he encounter slippery track today. Next we see him cleaning the flues in the boiler. He has the smoke box door open. He's got a special brush that cleans the flues. This is an every morning procedure to get rid of the accumulation from the previous day's run. Next, the ashes inside the firebox need to be removed. These have cooled overnight so that they can easily be handled. Next, we add coal for the day's run. This is fresh coal being added from the tender. Connected for mechanical drafting of the fire itself once it gets lighted. Next we add rags that have been soaked so that they will light faster. And then on top of that, pieces of wood. Then we close the door and let time take its way. While all this is going on, it's quiet down at the depot. In several hours, this depot will have people ready to board these trains. But for now, all is quiet inside the depot, except for the swinging of the clock on the wall. Looking out one of the depot windows towards the car shops, you get this view. Before too long, this ticket window will be a busy place. The inside of the depot is a fascinating place, complete with its hardwood floors, up to the lights on the ceiling. There is no agent on duty. The train order board has been left in the green signal, allowing all trains to proceed past. To add to the railroad atmosphere, we see the Railway Express sign over the baggage room door. Next, it's time to raise the flags. See the flags at the top of the mast. The track, we can see smoke rising over the engine house, telling us that something must be happening. We'll check in on that a little bit later. Next, we see the doors of the car shops being opened in preparation for bringing out the passenger cars. Here you see our manager, Paul Fitt, pushing the cars out. On old 82 here, we can see that indeed the smoke is rising from it as the fire warms up. Well, back at the passenger cars, the journals need to be checked and oiled. We have to make sure the waste material is in the right place to provide sufficient lubrication for the bearing itself. Next, while Paul is checking the journals and we're waiting for 82 to build its pressure up, we'll take a look at the yard area in general. We were looking at the car shop there, and behind it the joinery. Next, coming into view is the 30-foot turntable, and behind it the boiler shop. Finally, we see the roundhouse. Next, we'll look at the locomotive shop, which was also the office. Looking inside the locomotive shop, you can see that it's full of machinery and also a 24-inch gauge locomotive that's partially finished. Looking from the other end, you get a better view of the locomotive and some of the machinery in the shop. I can remember well using a lathe similar to this in machine shop about 40 years ago. And how about this for a drill press? Away in one corner of the machine shop is an old style printing press, complete with drawers of lead type. Meanwhile, looking at the office area, one can't help but wonder what it must have been like when this was a busy manufacturing plant. Inside the office is this impressive old lathe. It appears to be a treadle type. On another wall in the office, one of the Sandley products. This appears to be a 2-foot gauge locomotive in front of Hyde Park Depot. Looking through the office door, here was Norman Sandley's office. Meanwhile, in checking back on 82, we find that while the fire is going well in the firebox, it will be a while till our operating pressure of 140 pounds is reached. 82 to come up to pressure, we'd like to show you our electric car. This is used for track inspection mostly, and small work details. Here you see a track maintenance car and Tom Thumb being rolled out for use today. Tom Thumb is a vertical boilered steam locomotive that uses a locomobile engine on it. The locomotive from the side. This gives you a better idea of the vertical boiler and the engine in front of it. It's operated by an engineer sitting on a seat immediately behind the boiler. For water supply, an old keg is used. You see our hopper car. This has been used extensively in track maintenance, putting down ballast. It's estimated that we haul between 5,000 and 6,000 pounds of rock with each trip with this car. To make it easy to spread the rock, you'll notice the spreader board, which is just in front of the right-hand truck. It seems empty now with the cars rolled out. You can see the doors that the cars went through. And to the left, we have our supply room. It's located right alongside of the Sioux Line tracks. And you see this picture taken from the edge of our property. Usually 82 comes up to pressure. You can see the pressure gauge now reads about 95 pounds on its way up. Time to get 82 moving as it heads for the turntable. An Armstrong type turntable. So you see Engineer Jim turning the turntable to line up with the track leading out of the facility. Next, it's time to dump the ashes. Next, 82 comes out on the roundhouse lead. Next, our manager, Paul Fitt, throws the switch so that 82 can back up down the main line. It's time to get coal from the coaling dock. Time to add coal to the tender. The tender holds 200 pounds of coal, and we want to make sure it's full before we leave. To use the grease gun and add some needed lubrication. '82 leaves the engine facilities to go down to take on some water. Next, it's time to add water to the tender. At the present time, we're using a garden hose to fill a 100-gallon tank. Here you see 82 leaving the station. you see 82 passing camp with its train.
This is the western end of the facility, Western Springs, where the locomotive will uncouple from the cars, be turned on the turntable, and readied for the trip back to Hyde Park.
we see our engineer Jim uncoupling the train. The reason for this is we have our other engineer Kevin Rice helping out because Jim is going to go to lunch. Kevin takes it down to the end where we have the spring switch. And alongside we have a full-size train going through. We feel that we have some plants, shrubs, flowers and weeds and trees that are quite interesting. We'll try to show you several of these. Don't ask us the name of them though, because we're not botanists.
Is over and it's time to put the train away. Here you see Jim opening the doors. It's time to throw the switch and let 82 bring the coaches back into the coach building.
people of the Riverside and Great Northern Preservation Society would like to thank you for visiting with us and hope you enjoyed this movie as much as we have enjoyed producing it for you. The members of the Riverside and Great Northern Preservation Society would like to thank you for purchasing this tape. All proceeds will go to help maintain and improve the RGN Railroad. If you are interested in helping us with this railroad, please contact our manager, Paul Fitt. Phone 608-254-6367 or P.O. Box 842, Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin 53965. We are always looking for additional volunteers and/or contributions. Memberships in the society are available for a pledge of $1,000, which can be paid in payments as small as $10 per month, or join our booster club for just $25 per year. Additional copies of this tape are available at our gift shop or by mail from the RGN gift shop, P.O. Box 842, Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin 53965.